We will get back with the speaker at a later time. We'll get back with the speaker on a later time on things that are going on in the House. And, you know, I wanted him to bring out some things, popular or not. What did we learn this morning? Popular or not, okay? Maybe I brought this up, okay? HB 170, all right? He said it's popular with the President of the United States, okay? HB 170 was passed. HB 170 was passed in 2015, and it is we call it the gas tax. And he said that actually was highlighted with the President. All right, so what say you? What do you think about that? Georgia led the way according to him and was highlighted. What do you think about the public-private partnerships? Here is my concern, okay? This is not taking, by no means, all right, a Democrat side. My concern is when Democrats say $200 billion of federal spending offered as small to address the nation's need. This is not real infrastructure plan. It is simply another scam, an attempt to sell our nation's infrastructure and create windfall profit for Wall Street while rolling back environmental protections, said Representative Peter DeFazio. Now, the House, he's a ranking member on the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. Now, here is my concern, and I'm not taking up for a Democrat. So how do you get my concern out without doing that? The bottom line is I do get concerned when these infrastructure bills pass, okay? And when these special tax initiatives pass, state, local, or national, all right, that the people that issue bonds, the bond companies out there, they pop the champagne, all right? Because let me tell you something, and this is not taking the state of Georgia to task. It's really not, okay? I don't want this to be a negative report, but we're going to use Georgia for an example, all right? On the M&O, the Georgia state budget, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, on the Georgia state budget, the Georgia state constitution requires us, thank God it does and not Illinois, we do have a AAA bond rating. We do have a great bond rating. Georgia is not in a financial bond dilemma like New Jersey and Illinois and Connecticut, and you know, Georgia does. We don't have that I'm aware of any cities right now that are filing bankruptcy that I'm not aware of. We don't have a Detroit. We don't have a Hartford, Connecticut. Okay, we don't have that here. But what I'm getting to is the state constitution requires the legislative session to balance the budget. It's required. So they need more money. They have to make some changes, change fees, whatever, but they have to balance it. What they do not have to show is the bonds, only the bond payments. So let's say, for example, the state of Georgia every month has to pay out $100 million in bond payments. That's in the budget, but the actual bond itself is not in the yearly budget, only the payment. So my concern with this, when they say that Wall Street is cheering, okay, are the bond companies. Because when a local government, like your county, like your school system, passes an e-splost, and we're not going down the road whether an e-splost is needed or not to buy buses, whatever. We're not going down the road of a SPLOST in your county. A special purpose local option sales tax is necessary to buy new cars for government officials in the county, or pay for certain projects in the county. We're not going down that road. But what I am saying is, the very minute you pass a SPLOST, no matter what it is, they're like vultures. The bonding companies are like vultures ready for you to buy those bonds. A school system passed a bond referendum. When you vote, you say, yeah, you can tax, you can sell those bonds. On the state level, when they do these infrastructure projects, the bonds, okay, that are available, they're waiting for them. So on the federal level, so that's one thing I have to say concerns me a little bit. Now, I'm not a leftist environmentalist. Okay, I'm not an environmental wacko. Okay, I'm not a leftist environmental wacko. Okay, I'm really not. But projects going from 10 years, okay, to 2 years, and being held up under a dozen lawsuits by different agencies, environmental interest, to stop a road, a bridge, even internet, to go across the water, through the water, over the river, and through the woods. I mean, who could get to grandma's house anymore? All right? If she moved, it's on the other side of the water. You're not going to see grandma because it'll take 10 years just to get the permits to get a bridge across it. So what we built in this country, whether it be the Harbor Thruway Tunnel in Baltimore, whether it be the bridges of the George Washington Bridge, whether it be the Skyway that crosses over there at Tampa Bay from to St. Petersburg or St. Pete, right? In Tampa, wherever. But you know what I'm saying? It's come to a screeching halt. But environmentalists are going to fight this, okay? And the Democrats are going to fight this. But you heard what the Speaker of the House of Georgia said. I'm waiting to see what really this could benefit, all right? I'm pretty good with that being all I have today. Amanda, do you have anything? Okay, you know, earlier, I don't want to go into too much, but earlier you actually told me, and let's finish on a silly note, all right? Let's have some fun. Oh, speaking of a silly note, why did this remind me? Blue Ridge City Council has a meeting tonight. Now let's finish on a silly note, okay? So you do know who Bugs Bunny is, right? Get your mic on. You do know who Bugs Bunny is, please, right?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Okay, but you don't remember when he fought the Crusher, right?
No.
Okay. Do you know who Yosemite Sam is?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who Foghorn Leghorn is?
No.
No. Okay. All right. I'm just checking. Running through. All right. So I think there should be like certain things on college entry exams. I really do. I think when you go for a college entry exam and you're sitting there, you should not be allowed in if you do not know who Bugs Bunny is. You shouldn't be allowed in.
I know who Bugs Bunny is.
I didn't say you couldn't go, all right? But I don't think you should be allowed in. I don't think you should be allowed in if you don't know who Yosemite Sam is.
What about if you don't know who Justin Timberlake is?
Really?
Yeah, upcoming college students took a poll and they don't know who Justin Timberlake was when he sang at the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yep.
Well, that's throwing me off track. I had a whole joke laid out, and you threw Justin Timberlake in the middle. I mean, do you not? Okay, so college kids didn't know. But I think they should all have to know Foghorn Leghorn. I really do. And, you know, and then I think they should have to do certain impressions. Say, like, I think they should say, do you do any impressions? You know what I mean? Can you do any impressions?
No.
None?
No. I do like your Bill Clinton, though.
You like my Bill Clinton?
Yeah. You want to do your Bill Clinton?
No, I think, you know, if you're sitting there and you're at Harvard, let's see if you get in, right? So you're at Harvard and you're sitting there and the guy's got a bow tie. You know you're thinking that the guy's got to have a bow tie, right? Because you're at Harvard, right? So the interview, you know, you're at Harvard and you're sitting there and the guy looks at you real, or the lady, oh my God, or the transgender, oh my God, how can I end a show like this? Whoever's sitting across from you in a bow tie, all right? And first of all, you're sitting there wondering, are you a guy or a girl? And then after that, right? And then they look at you and say, okay, for the final part of the exam, can you do any impressions? And you say, You say, boy. I say, boy. Pay attention to me, boy, when I'm talking to you. Now, who was that?
I have no idea. Who is that?
Boy. I say boy.
It's the
boy.
big giant rooster. What's his name?
It's a big rooster. That's Foghorn Leghorn, right?
Oh, okay.
Sam
You
Gunn.
should have just said the giant rooster.
And then you should have to be able to just with one clue. If he says, hide me, Muggsy. Muggsy says, hide me. I'm your host, BKP. We've had a lot of fun. We like to close the show with some fun. I want to thank Amanda and Samantha for making the recovery. FYNTV.com had a little problem technically there, and they switched it over immediately. So we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow morning. It will be Wednesday. Is tomorrow Wednesday? Just double checking. All right, take us out of here.